What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, what's going on here in Congress on a daily basis. And as the country is still reeling from the Uvalde shooting and shootings that are still happening almost every single day. Remember that we actually average more mass shootings here in the United States than days of the year. We average about 10 mass shootings per week. I know it's crazy. The Senate has announced a bipartisan deal to pass a step forward with gun legislation. And Republicans, at least a few Republicans in the Senate, including Republican leader Mitch McConnell, are on board with this. Check this out.
New optimism for supporters of the bipartisan gun deal on Capitol Hill. The top Republican in the Senate, the Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, voicing what appears to be support for the agreement. Support with a caveat.
I'm comfortable with the framework, and if the legislation ends up reflecting what the framework indicates, I'll be supportive.
Legislation reflecting. See, the framework is this. The bill would provide money to help states create and implement red flag laws, enhance the process for background checks on people between 18 and 21, and provide major investments into mental health and suicide prevention. But it's far from a done deal. There's no legislation drafted at all, and the details, which can make or break anything, still need to be worked out.
Now, the real question here is, will it pass? What will the details be in the actual bill that passes here? This is really just a minor step forward. It's not really banning anything or anything along those lines here. Here's some details on this. Check this out with Senator Debbie Stabenow.
Joining me now is a member of that bipartisan gun group, Senator Debbie Stabenow of Michigan. So, Senator, I understand just this morning there have been some complications in turning the framework into actual text. Can you just give us an update on where you guys are on writing this bill and your level of confidence that everything that was announced in the framework will be in the final bill?
Well, Garrett, it's great to be with you. And, you know, there are always hiccups at the end. I've been involved in a lot of complicated negotiations over my lifetime here in the Senate, and there's always something that comes up at the end. So a couple of things, they are not insurmountable. Folks are working on them right now. On the mental health side of things, we really quickly getting things together, the language that we need to tie down, we're doing. And on the other side, most of it is tied down, and I know there's a great sense of urgency. And frankly, you were talking about Senator McConnell. That's a very important indication that we will have broad bipartisan support to get this done. And I want to thank everyone. This is happening because the people of the country have risen up and said enough is enough. We don't want to live like this.
Senator, I'm curious about your state of Michigan. Michigan doesn't have a red flag law. You and I have talked about this a little bit. You've got a Democratic governor who would surely sign one. Do you think either the incentives in this framework or just the fact that a bipartisan passed reform might take some of the, oh, that's a Democratic policy priority feeling off of the idea of a red flag law would help a state like Michigan put a law like that into practice?
Well, I think that's a really important question, and I don't know in Michigan. We have a Republican legislature that has an awful lot of MAGA Republicans in it. On the other hand, they're hearing, like all of us are in Michigan, from families across the state, people who are so afraid to send their children to school or even to go shopping or worship, and people really have had enough. And so my feeling is that there's a chance that the state legislature will do it now, but we also have a very competitive map drawn for our state legislature. And if the Republicans aren't willing to put in place red flag laws and other common sense gun laws, then a Democratic state House and Democratic state Senate will. So I think ultimately, if they don't act, it becomes a big issue for the fall election.
Senator, you and Roy Blunt wrote the mental health portion of this. It started as a pilot program in 10 states. It's going to expand. I'm curious what you make of the criticism that by including the mental health part of this, you give credence to some of the folks who say, oh, this isn't a gun issue, it's a mental health issue. I mean, why is it important to have the mental health portion of this in this framework to you as a Democrat?
Well, Garrett, first of all, this is a gun issue. And so we have to be doing things to move forward that are meaningful on gun safety, no matter what. But we also have huge efforts that we need to put forward to have comprehensive community mental health and addiction services across this country. Now, I've said so many times that 1 out of 5 people in our country will have a mental illness. They are much more likely to be a victim of a crime than perpetrate one. We also know, though, that when you are getting a military assault weapon and going into school with the purpose of gunning down children, obviously there's instability there, for sure. But this is a moment to do really important things in the community, in schools, to embrace the fact that mental health services should be treated as health care and be available throughout the country. So I'm going to take this moment to do that because that's important. And we want to have everyone have the opportunity to get help that they need, if it's health care above the neck as well as health care below the neck. At the same time, it doesn't take away any of what we need to be doing on guns.
Yeah. Well, as somebody who comes from the state with the worst mental health care access in the nation, seems like a pretty worthy goal to me as a Texan. Senator Debbie Stabenow of the great state of Michigan, thank you for your time and your work on this.
Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Obviously, this is a major issue here that has been going on for a long, long time, but is now really just kind of, I don't even want to say come to light, but really people are just kind of fed up with it. And if they don't take action now, they never will. Really, if you actually really just look at the details of what they're proposing to do in the bill, it's really not uh, a lot. Really, it's not like they're taking away anybody's guns or anything along the lines of that. So anybody that is pro, gun, you know, saving the guns or anything like that. There's nothing in there like that. So if they can't pass this, nothing will get passed. So we'll see. Honestly, it's going to be tight to even pass this. They only need 10 Republican votes, along with, well, all the Republicans or all the Democrats, sorry, in the Senate to get 60 votes. And then even in the House, the Democrats can pass that on their own, but there's going to be very few Republicans, they're saying. I'll even show you the headline here. Senate gun deal likely to face pushback from the House Republicans. Here's from a few days ago. But there would be very few votes from Republicans in the House. This just goes to show you here that getting Republicans and Democrats to agree on anything, even when an overwhelming majority of polls show across America that Americans want some type of gun reform, in poll after poll after poll after poll shows it's anywhere from around 2/3 to 75% of Americans want to see something done. Here's what Senator Joe Manchin has to say. Check this out.
This doesn't go far enough for many people. This doesn't go far enough for many people. It goes too far for some other people. The bottom line is, Jake, for the first time, we've been able to come down this path and start with something that's sensible and reasonable. It's all based around common sense. It's based around children. It's based around prevention and intervention. That's what it's based about. So we've got to take what we've got as a positive and work off of this. But this piece of legislation, as drafted, should not be threatening to any law-abiding citizen in the United States of America. Not one. And no law-abiding gun owner should be offended by this. We take no rights away, no privileges away. We don't basically threaten you're going to lose anything at all. Except maybe if we don't do this, you might lose a child or a grandchild.
There you go, Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin, talking some common sense. But we'll see if the bill's even going to pass. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments, but yeah. Also, you could see here US Congress takes aim at inflation and fuel costs here this week with a new bill. Yeah, high gas prices aren't just affecting drivers making daily commutes. Petrol based fertilizer, along with the cost of operating machinery and tractors, has local farms in California worried about their futures so much that United States Congress is prepared to step in. Yeah, this week in the House of Representatives, a bipartisan group presented a bill titled, quote, Lower Food and Fuel Cost Act, with the hope of giving aid to farmers as well as combating inflation. Saying, quote, everything is a process, says Kat Neeson, who runs a mid-sized dairy farm in Escalon. Quote, there's a chain, and once a link is broken, the chain falls apart, she adds. It's a little bit of a struggle for us. John Lagier, who owns 80 acres in Central Valley, he says that the fertilizer that many farmers use is 100% nitrogen based, which comes from natural gas or petrol. The energy crisis affects not just their ability to operate machinery for their farms, but also ups the cost of what they use to plant. Fertilizer prices have nearly doubled in the last few months, which raises the cost of food. Yeah, everything from fuel to fertilizer, as well as equipment parts, also deriving from a litany of supply issues, Russian Ukrainian war related disruptions, and general economic imbalance, has farmers worried about the future. A fear shared by Congressman Josh Harder, a Democrat from California, who says, quote, pretty soon it's not going to be possible to be a small scale family farm in California or maybe even anywhere. That has prompted a bipartisan group to propose relief. You don't even see too many bipartisan things anymore. Quote, this program is going to help them actually cut the amount of fertilizer and other nutrients that are needed on their farm. Harder's resolution in particular deals with a precision agriculture named HR 7764. It earmarks $750 million to help farms implement best practices to use fertilizer without reducing crop yields, which presumably means more supply and hope to contain inflation. Why that matters is that it's going to help us lower prices at the grocery store. Interesting, huh? Harder takes the floor on Thursday with the rest of the House of Representatives, hoping to vote on the bill as early as this week. Yeah, and if gas prices and food prices weren't high enough, imagine if you stumbled along a gas station and the gas price was, by mistake, less than $1. Well, that actually happened, and a gas station lost tens of thousands of dollars, and the manager at the gas station got fired. Yeah, that's in today's episode of You Can't Make This Stuff Up. Check this out.
Yeah, I looked at the numbers and I seen it was 69 cents a gallon. So, you know what I did? I hit that button and it started pumping and the dollar sign just stayed low.
Turned into a circus within a matter of minutes.
Yeah, so a gas station in California, the gas station manager was fired for mistakenly setting the gas, or he says mistakenly setting the gas, to 69 cents per gallon. Yeah, you could see here the gas was supposed to be $6.99 per gallon, and apparently he missed a decimal point, making it 69 cents per gallon instead of $6.99 per gallon. Yeah, and he was fired after he accidentally did this. Yeah, his name was John. Good luck saying this name. It's like Cecilia, who served as the manager for a Shell gas station in Rancho Cordova. He said he mistakenly placed the decimal in the wrong spot and that the gas was supposed to be $6.99 a gallon. He says, quote, I put all three prices on there except the diesel. The last one kind of didn't go. So I just took responsibility for it and said, yeah, it's my fault. The pricing error reportedly cost the gas station $16,000 as hundreds of drivers capitalized on the mistake and filled up their gas tanks for 69 cents a gallon. I'll bet you a lot of people actually remember when gas was 69 cents a gallon or less than $1. I actually can remember back in high school when gas was less than $1.
There was a promotion when I was in high school from the local radio station, 96.5, and they were selling 96-cent gas at the BP there by our house.
Ah, see, it wasn't that long ago. Well, it was, but yeah. Yeah, and as you can see here, he said he's worried the gas station owners will sue him for the lost revenue, revealing that his family created a GoFundMe to help them repay the owners. Wow. And I actually have an update here that says the fund to pay for the gas station clerk pricey mistake has received thousands of dollars in donations so far. Yeah, he's well on his way towards paying for that says their $20,000 mistake. Wow. Yep. He says, I thought this is a nightmare. I put all three of those prices on there, and the last one just didn't kind of go. The mistake ended up costing the gas station over $20,000 in lost revenue. So this shows you how kind of expensive it can get, right? And he was fired, and his family started an online donation fund to repay his former employer. On Tuesday, it was almost $10,000 collected. In fact, here as I look, the GoFundMe currently has $11,500, and it's going up quickly. Well, I don't know if he's going to get his job back, but I guess the gas station owners will get their money back. Wow, what a crazy story, right? Yeah, have you ever made a mistake like that cost you big? Let me know in the comments if you don't mind sharing. But yeah, we've all made mistakes here, and some more costly than others. But this one cost him his job, and I don't know. Maybe he'll get his back. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to move on. But back in the day, we didn't have GoFundMe. There was, and really most people's GoFundMe doesn't catch national publicity where, you actually get somewhere. Most of the time you create a GoFundMe and it just doesn't go anywhere. But this one happened to get national attention, and he is actually going somewhere. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Today's episode of You Can't Make This Stuff Up. But I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country. You guys are awesome. So I'll keep you up to date. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. It's cheaper than that 69-cent gas. So yeah, after you subscribe, click the bell icon. It'll give you notifications when we go live here with new videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here is my newest video on the Fed's decision that just happened. Whew, really big video there. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.